Hello, welcome to another video from Pass the GED. This video covers basic math problems that you will likely find when you cannot use a calculator. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want daily questions in your Facebook or Instagram feed, please look in the description below for our social profiles. Thank you. Question 1. What expression represents 8 less than the product of 10 and a number h? Okay, let's first take the start of this. What expression? So the first thing is expressions have no equal signs, okay? Represents 8 less than. And so 8 less than most people are going to think of as 8 minus or 8 subtraction. But the thing to note about this less than, and this comes up a lot, is that less than actually means subtract after. Okay, subtract after. So less than the product. Product means multiplication of 10 and a number h. So the product of 10 and a number h means you're multiplying 10 times h. And you can see that from the answer choices. You do have division here, but hopefully you recognize product is multiplication and quotient would be division. So what we want is 10 times h. Put that in parentheses. You can tell that again from the answer choices. Use the answer choices to help guide you. And 8 less than, again, this means subtract after. So you have to do this first. So we're going to subtract 8 after we've done this. And so our answer is going to be C. Question 2. What is the greatest common factor of 12, 36, and 48? So first thing is, what is a factor? And so factors are the things that get multiplied. So you have a factor, gets multiplied by a factor. This is factor times a factor equals a product. And so 12, 36, and 48, they're products. So here's 12, here's 36, and here's 48. We want to think of all the ways that we can multiply numbers together to get 12, 36, and 48, and then find the largest that all three have in common. So you could take 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, 5, and then 6 you would be repeating because we already have 6. So these are the three different multiples of 12. Same with 36. 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, 5 doesn't work, and 6 times 6. Okay, so you just start counting, start with 1 and work your way down until you start repeating. So same thing over here. 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, 5 doesn't work, 6 times 8, 7 doesn't work, and then 8 you'd be repeating. So now what's the largest number that they all share? Well, hopefully you saw it is 12. Okay, so the answer is C. Question 3. Jose sold, this is a 5/8 of a pepperoni pizza and 3/4, and that's probably hard for you to see, of an onion pizza to the same family. How much pizza did the family buy? Okay, so we see the word and here. He sold 5/8 of a pepperoni pizza and 3/4 of an onion pizza. So this and means we have to add them. So we've got 5/8 plus 3/4. We cannot add these together because they don't have like denominators or the same denominators. These numbers here on the bottom are not the same. So typically what you want to do is to scale this up. Scale up this 4. So we're going to take 3/4 and we're going to multiply it by some number so that we get 8 on the bottom. So 4 times what equals 8? Well, it's 2. And we're going to do 2/2. So we're not changing the value of this 3/4, we're just scaling it up. And so 3 times 2 is 6. So now we can add these together. We've got 5 over 8 plus 6 over 8. And that equals 11 over 8. You don't add the denominators and get 16. You just add the top here. And so we've got 11 over 8. That is not one of our answer choices, but we do have the mixed fractions here. So what we can do is say, well, how many times does 8 go into 11? It goes 1 time, 1 times 8, and then we subtract 8 from 11, and we get 3, which is going to be 1 and 3 over 8, and our answer is A. Question 4, put the following numbers in order from least to greatest. And so we will go least on the left to greatest on the right. And so typically you want to work from extremes here. What is the largest or the smallest? Which one's really easy to find? We see this 14 is going to be the largest. Then we've got a 1 and a bunch of decimals and a 1 and a bunch of decimals, and then this 3 over 2. Let's figure out where this 3 over 2 is going to fit. So let's convert 3 over 2 into a decimal. And so that will be, how many times does 2 go into 3? Well, 2 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. We subtract that, and we're going to get 1 left over. And so we can't put 2 into 1. And so we can put our decimal here and then drop down a 0. And now we can kind of think of this as 10. How many times does 2 go into 10? Well, it goes in 5 times. So in other words, 3 over 2 is equal to 1/5. Now 1.5, sorry, not 1/5, 1.5. So 1.005 and 1.005. And then 1.5 is going to be larger. So we got 1.5 here. And now which one is going to be bigger? This one or this one? And hopefully you can see this one is going to be larger. So that one is going to come next. And then our smallest number is 1.0005. So that is our correct order. Question 5. As a simplified fraction, you have 1/2 times the in parentheses 5/2 minus 1/6. All right, so first thing is we actually have, this is a bit of a PEMDAS problem, or order of operations. So we have to do the parentheses first here, which actually involves subtraction, but it's parentheses first. And then this right here on the outside of the parentheses represents multiplication. Okay, and so we'll end up doing that second. So we need to tackle these parentheses first. So the inside the parentheses, we have 5 over 2 minus 1 over 6. And so we can't subtract because these do not have the same denominators. So what you want to do is try to scale up this 5 over 2 so that the bottom number is 6 as well. And so if we take 5 over 2, we're going to multiply it times some number so that we get 6 on the bottom. So 2 times what is 6? Well, 3. And so this becomes 3 over 3. Again, we're not changing the value of this 5 over 2. We're just scaling it up by a factor of 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. So now we can put this back in here. So we have 15 over 6 minus 1 over 6. And that equals 14 over 6. All right, so that is in parentheses. So what we have now is 1/2. What we determined is in our parentheses is 14 over 6. Now we really don't need these parentheses. This represents multiplication. So it's 1/2 times 14 over 6. So 1 times 14 is 14, and 2 times 6 is 12. So we can simplify this. These are both even numbers. So we can cut them in half. So this would be 7 over 6. And so if we drop that 7 over 6 down here, because that's not one of our answer choices, we've got 6 goes into 7 one time with 1 remaining, which is 1 1/6, which is our answer here, D. What is triple the difference between 67 and 52? So triple means 3x, or 3 times. The difference means subtraction. So this is going to be 3 times the difference between 67 and 52. And we can put these in parentheses because we need to tackle this before we multiply it. So if we take 67 minus 52, let me actually do it the other way. 67 minus 52, 2 from 7 is 5, 5 from 6 is 1, so we get 15. So now we have 3 times 15, which equals 45. Answer is B. Question 7. Mia has $30 less than 100. Over the week, her money is increased by $70 and then doubled. How much money does she have at the end of the week? Okay, Mia has $30 less than 100. So remember, less than means subtract after. Okay, so in other words, you have to put this at the end. So this $30 less than 100, it actually means 100 minus 30. She has $70, right? And so if you did it the other way around, if you did 30 minus 100, you would end up with negative 70. And so that doesn't make sense. She has $70, not negative 70. So this is a very common thing that test makers like to have students show that they know. So now at the end, over the course of her week, her money's increased by $70. So you're going to add 70 to this. You could put parentheses here, but PEMDAS, we can actually just do these in order. So I'm going to put the whole thing in parentheses. And then it says her money's doubled. So that means we're going to double all of this in parentheses. So here's how I would go about tackling this. We'll go 100 minus 30 is going to be 70 plus 70. So we'll keep that in parentheses. We're still going to have to double it. And so 70 plus 70 is 140. And then when we have the number on the outside of the parentheses, that means multiplication. So what is 2 times 140 or double 240? That's 280. So our answer is B. Question 8. Write these numbers so they are ordered from least to greatest. All right, so remember here, least to greatest, least will be on the left and greatest will be on the right. So when I do these problems, the first thing I want to do is maybe group them. So I see we've got some negatives over here. And so negatives are going to be the least, right? So let's put these, let's just go ahead and stack them so we can compare them equally. So we've got negative 0.046 and negative 0.45. All right, so here is one of the things that students often get tricked up on. We want the lowest number, and the lowest number is going to be the one furthest from 0. The number furthest from 0 when it's negative is going to be this one. The fact that this one is 0.0, that means it's closer to 0, which is larger than something that is very negative. This happens to be more negative. So this is going to be negative 0.45. And then we will put negative 0.046. So we've used these two already. Now we've got these ones, 0.2, 0.05, and then 0.043. So hopefully you can see which number is going to be the largest. And in this case, we want the number closest to 1. So sometimes students are a little bit confused by this because they see this as having this one. Some students will say it's 43 and this one's 5. 5 is greater than 2. Well, notice these are not all the same number of digits. If we make them all the same number of digits, this 0.2 becomes 0.200, and this 0.05 becomes 0.50 or 0.50. So now we can compare these equally. We can hopefully, you see this one is going to be the largest. So we're going to put that one 0.2 on the end. The 0.050 or 0.05 is larger than 0.043. So that one's going to be the next greatest one, 0.05. And then the one that in this case, the positive number is closest to 0 is 0.043. And that would be your answer right here. Mario has a poster company. He needs to make at least $2,750 this month to meet his sales goal. If each poster sells for $15.95, what is the minimum number of posters Mario needs to sell to reach his goal? All right, well, let's take this and put these into words. So he's got his total that he wants, and this is going to be the total divided by the price is going to give us, in this case, the number that he needs to sell. And so if you think of this the other way, sometimes test makers like you to know, well, the price of a t-shirt times the number that you sell will give you your total sales, right? And so all we're doing is just reorient these equations so that we can use this one here. And so the total is 2,750 divided by 1595. So we can use the calculator over here. This is the GED calculator that you will see on the actual test. So it's worth getting familiar with it. So 1595. And that was going to give us 172.41. 172.41. Now, it says here, what is the minimum number? So you can't sell 0.41 t-shirts. So we either need to round up or round down. This isn't a typical rounding situation though, because he needs to sell the minimum number. If he rounds down to 172, which you would normally, if you were just rounding this, not a concern for some real life situation, it would be set 172, but he needs to round up in this case so that he makes at least, or the minimum amount that he needs. So the answer is B. A family is having a big party for 40 people, and they plan on buying 3 cans of soda per person. Each package of soda contains 6 sodas. What is the fewest number of packages of soda the family needs to buy? All right, so if we take this, you got 40 people. Just always like to write down, I'm just going to do 40p for people, and they each are going to do 3 cans of soda. So, and let's do 3c here. So if we're going to multiply these together. Each person drinks 3 cans of soda, so that's 40 times 3. 40 times 3 is 120. Put that in the calculator if you need to. Each package contains 6 sodas. So if we have the total divided by the 6 per package, that's going to give us our answer. So our total is 120, and there's 6 per package. So it's like you're going to the store, you need to buy 120 cans, and they come in packages of 6. We're going to divide 6 into 120. 6 goes into 12 2 times. And then you have another 0, so this actually represents 20. And our answer here is B. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Again, if you want a daily question in your Instagram or Facebook feed, please follow our profile links below. Thank you.